I'm the only one here. I'm it. So when you're
And
talking
it
to
is
me, you're talking to the
7:30 in the
whole
morning.
right. You're talking to the whole production team. That's me. Well, good morning. Good morning.
Good
So
morning.
thank you for waking up so early to join us this morning for Women and Wellness Wednesday. Could you please just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
My name is Kimberly Derry, and I just moved here to St. Mary's from Woodstock, Georgia, to be closer to my granddaughter. I have three granddaughters that live here, and my daughter. And I'm just a happy grandma of six and living my best life.
Yeah, she looks good now. Look, this is how they make us now. Because I'm a granny too. Look, this is how they make grandmas now. Okay, just let
That's
you know.
right. That's right. Grandma of
But
six. I'll be 50 this year.
ooh, get it, mama. Get it. Looking good. Looking
Thank you.
good.
Thank you.
Now we met at the July 4th 250th celebration, and I saw your business that you have called
Mhm.
Shrunk. Could you share with our audience a little bit about your company and just kind of how you started Shrunk?
Sure, sure. So it's called Shrunk 3D, and I started about 2 years ago. I was just looking for a franchise to buy, and I came across Shrunk 3D. And when I found out what it was they did and the emotional appeal of it, I was hooked. So this is a statue of me. It's a little faded because it was in the sun, but this is me. And both of my girls started playing fast pitch softball when they were 4 years old. My oldest daughter that lives here ended up going on to get a full ride scholarship to Georgia State. So that's how long she played softball. And I started thinking, if I had a trophy, a statue of her for every team she played on, every uniform she wore, her messy hair and dirty face, I could have watched both of my girls grow up playing softball, and I would have still had those memories on my wall right now. But instead, we threw away about 100 trophies that all had that same little girl with the golden bat and the golden
Mhm.
ponytail, and they were wasted. And now all we have are those flat photos that are in a book or stuck in our phone somewhere. And I thought, well, I missed out on that. I can't do that for myself anymore. But if I can give that to another mom or dad or grandparent to be able to have that memory frozen in time, um in 3D, something that you can display on a shelf and be a conversation piece. I wanted to be able to do that. And so I just immediately fell in love with Shrunk 3D, and then the possibilities just started unfolding and became endless. And I'll show you a few more examples that I have. We do a
Okay.
lot of cosplay. And so this is one
Oh,
girl
that's so cute.
that came and she did, her pose. We do a lot of military. So here's
Wow. That's
military
cool.
mom. We do obviously a lot of
Aw.
sports, which is why some of my statues are a little
Mhm.
faded. But imagine your child in
Mhm.
their uniform with their stature. Um, is also me. I made a little shelf sitter that sits on the shelf, but that's
Yeah.
me. And
They're so cute.
then we do pets.
Very cool, especially for
So,
pet owners, because fur babies are real.
oh, absolutely. And once you have them like this, they're immortalized. We can do it from photos. We
Mm.
can one photo, or obviously the more photos you have, but typically the way it works is I have a booth, and I think you saw the booth that was behind me at the festival. Inside
Mhm.
there's 95 cameras. It
Yes.
takes 192 images all at one time. And then I send those images off to the designer, and in a few weeks, something like this shows up at your house. That's my boyfriend and his
Wow.
grandson, and they were at the booth with me.
That is so cool. That is
But it
just so
shows, I mean, you can even
cool.
read his
Because you
shirt. I
never
don't know if
really think about having something like that.
Right. And
people.
his little face
That's
is
cute.
just perfect, and you can even see all the tattoos on his
Wow.
arm. So they're incredibly detailed, very
Hmm.
hyper realistic, and the possibilities are endless. I did my daughter's cake topper for her wedding. Her and her fiance at the time, but put them on top of their wedding cake, and just all kinds of things that you can do to capture that memory in 3D.
Yes. Now, the one that really stood out to me was they were the tiny ones that had the QR code on the base. That was
Oh
so
yeah.
inventive. I
I
was
didn't I
like,
didn't I
that
didn't
is
bring one of them
cool.
out with me, but we call those, there are our business cards essentially, and it's a 2-inch statue, and
Hmm.
the QR code on the bottom links to your website, your personal information. And so, people hand out business cards all the time. And if you walk around festivals, you see them laying on the ground or sitting by trash cans left on tables. But when you give
Right.
somebody that little 2-inch statue of you representing your business, or, in your uniform or whatever, they're going to remember that. They're going to hold on to that. And they're not only going to remember it, but they're going to show it to their friends. And so it makes a
Yeah.
great business card, but could also be a birth announcement, wedding invitation. There's the possibilities are endless
Hmm.
on what you could use that QR code for. So you just have to get creative
Yeah.
and step into the 3D world, because that's where it is now.
Right. And thank you. I mean, I'm just, like I said, I was so impressed. I was like, oh, I gotta have you on the show to talk about this, to
Well,
tell other
thank you.
people, because I had never really heard about it until I saw your booth, and I was like,
Mm,
this is amazing. Because to your point, it's different and it's immortalized, and people get like things like tchotchkes and different memory, you know,
mhm.
displays to have in their home. But to have something like this is so unique and personal, which is
And
wonderful. There was one that you showed me that was, from a picture of somebody who
yes.
had passed away, and they didn't
Mhm.
have the back to. Could you explain a little bit about that one?
Right. So that we call that 2D to 3D, where you can upload a photo, and our designers will take, one photo or however many you can send in, and they will recreate any of those parts of that person that are missing. So that one statue that you're talking about, we only had a front facing
Mhm.
photo. So our designers had to recreate the entire backside of him, recreate his, clothing, and what they can
Right.
imagine that that person would have looked like. So obviously the more photos you can send in of that person, the closer those characteristics can be. But when you held that statue next to one of the other ones, you really could not tell a difference,
Mm-mm.
that it had only been from
No.
one photo.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So today I wanted to really just talk about family wellness because, as you said, you moved from Woodstock, Georgia to St. Mary's. If anybody knows Georgia, Woodstock is not close to St. Mary's at all. It's a few hours away. It's actually further than from where I moved from. I moved from McDonough. So I was 4
Okay,
hours.
yeah.
you
Yeah,
were
so
you were
yeah,
closer to
5.5.
6 or 7.
Yeah, almost
Okay.
6.
So, yeah, but let's just talk about family wellness and just where you see it's kind of a new day, grandmas, we look good today. But our children, sometimes they just need us around, and that kind of wellness is important. So I just wanted to let you share about that.
Well, family is the most important thing. I mean, we don't get to pick our family. I guess in a way we do, but we pick our friends. But our family there's just a bond between family. And I lost my mother when I was 24 years old, so almost
Mm,
26 years ago I lost my mother, and my children were 2 and 4, and they didn't really have much of a grandparent influence growing up. And it was very important to me, because I know what kind of a grandmother my mother was, but my girls, they
mhm.
don't remember that.
Right.
And I want them to know what a grandparent is supposed to be like, what that grandparent bond should be, so that when they become grandparents, they can continue that
Mhm.
on with their children. And I've watched so many members of my own family that have drifted away. I myself have drifted from certain family members, and it's hard and it's painful. And
Mm.
to have your children and your grandchildren close, um, it's just a feeling that like no other. And I have another daughter and two grandsons, with a third on the way, granddaughter on the way, that live in New Mexico. And it's very
Mm.
hard to watch them grow up on technology. But
Mhm.
I had this opportunity arise to be able to come be a grandma, and I had to. I had just bought a house 6 months ago, just getting settled and uprooted again, left everything, and came to St. Mary's, because family is what's important.
I know, 'cause it wasn't funny, but I was like, "So, how long you been here?" You're like, 4 days. I was like, "What?"
Yeah. I'm still sleeping on an air mattress. I just closed on my house on Monday.
Oh,
So
congratulations for
thank
closing! Because
you.
at that time we had spoken, you hadn't even closed on your house yet, but you were just
Close.
like, "You know what? We're doing this."
We're
And
doing it.
that's the passion. Yeah, that's the passion that, you know, we need to have in this day and age because people are so disconnected in reality. And what I
Mhm,
mean by that is it's like, you know, I'm glad we have the technology like what we're doing right now, right? I didn't have to invite you over to the house and set up the cameras and all this stuff. We're doing this. Like technology is helpful, but we shouldn't
mhm.
rely on it so much to the point where we're not having that human contact. Because you could have said, well,
Absolutely.
you know, you guys, I just did this, I just did that. I'll come down and visit you. We'll create a schedule. You were like, nope, I am here. Okay.
Absolutely. I've
We are
I've
doing
missed
this.
out on so much already. And remember when we were growing up, we were outside playing all the
Oh my
time till
gosh.
this,
Oh
till
my
the street
gosh.
lights came on, riding bikes and building
Yes.
forts. And you ask kids today,
Mhm.
they're, what is a fort? They don't even know what building a fort in the woods is. And those are some of the
Yeah.
best memories, drinking from the garden hose. And I want my grandbabies
Okay.
to experience that.
It's so funny. My husband and I, we were talking about that the other day. I was like, you know, we just figured it out growing up. We didn't
Yeah,
really ask questions. We just, you know, we got home before our parents got home because I was a latchkey kid. And we didn't have keys. We just figured it out. Yeah,
that's
the
right.
water might
We
have
didn't
been
have
warm
Chat
from the water
GPT.
hose. Right. We just figured it out. And, you know, there were some stay-at-home moms and, you know, God just blessed me to be in a wonderful community where the moms that stayed home, they just invited us in or they brought stuff out to us because they knew, you know, okay, we know this parent's working, we know that parent's going to be home soon, and we just want to make sure that you guys are okay, right?
Absolutely.
There
It
was
was
a
a
time when
community.
community was just yeah, we just wanted to be okay. And you
Right.
didn't really have to worry about people hurting one another, right?
Right.
The way you do now. And it's just like living here in St. Mary's, it's just been a dream, in my opinion, because everybody's in that mindset to just
Right.
be community and just
Right.
take care of each other. And I'm so
Absolutely. And
grateful
and
for
that's
it.
one of the things that helped draw me here as well, was
Mhm.
to hear my daughter talk about that, and the way she talked about the community. And I feel very blessed in my life. I've been through a lot of things, but have been blessed very
Mhm.
much along the way. And if I can you know help someone else or give back in some way, I really enjoy doing that. And being in a small community, um, it can help foster that.
Yeah, which is good. Well, I'll let you have last words.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you for bringing me on and for talking to me at the festival. And I am so happy to be here in St. Mary's, and I hope to be shrinking St. Mary's very soon.
Yes, yes, and definitely one can you, give us your website?
Sure, it's shrunk3d.com/East Cobb, because I came from
Okay.
East Cobb. So
Yes,
yeah,
yes, the East Cobb that is now in Camden County in the wonderful city of
St.
St.
Mary's.
Mary. So thank you so
That's
much
right.
for joining us this morning, and we'll
Thank you.
definitely be praying for your success.
Thank you so much. God bless.